two examples, right? You got a $300,000 house now. You can get in, maybe even a 290, get them to pay all your closing costs help, right? Where before it was 350, your rate was 2 or 3%. But when you look at an amortization schedule, where are you at equity-wise?
So does it kind of just balance itself out? I mean,
you actually come out on top by now because you now bought that home under its value.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
Or at least close to what it's worth.
Right.
And then you have the upside to refi.
Yeah.
Where I get a lot of clients, Dave, now's not the right time. When these rates come down, I'll give you a call. I said, well, no, that's not the case, because what happens is rates go down, demand goes up, demand goes back up again, and as soon as the demand goes back up, values go up. Now you got to come out of pocket for more funds. So it's about the opportunity cost of leveraging your funds.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Tim here with the TMA Connection. It's a local podcast that focuses on people that are making a good difference in the lives of others, and it's a community podcast, and it's a little bit about real estate every once in a while, too. And we are jumping into the real estate arena here today. I got a really special guest for you to meet. His name's Dave Starleper with First Home Mortgage, a local lender. We're at the beginning. Everything's so time sensitive with podcasts. You never know when somebody's going to download it. So we are in the beginning of 2023, January, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the market, where we're seeing this market going, and some challenges to the market, and so much more, man. Dave.
Love it.
Dave.
Thanks
Starleper.
Thanks for
welcome to the show, brother.
Man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. I've been looking forward to this one. We had lunch a couple weeks back, and the energy and enthusiasm that you bring to real estate is admirable, and I'm glad I have you on the podcast.
Well, thank you. They're just taking notes from you. Trying to create my own podcast here. So taking notes on how you're doing this, and loving the headphones. As like I said, you did the introduction. It was reminding me of Howard Stern. Hey now, like I always had to do it.
You got to hear yourself. Yeah. It's the inflection, tonality, and all that stuff. So yeah, man. That's great. So yeah, well, let's get into this. But before we do. The 60-second elevator pitch of who Dave Starleper is. Yeah. Give everybody a little bit of an idea about who you are.
So when you ask me to kind of describe myself, I think about 3 words. I think about restorative. Restorative in the sense that I really enjoy hearing people's story, right? I want to know where you come from, where are you headed, what are your goals, what's your vision, and how can I help you get there? And maybe how does it coincide within my goals and my vision? The other thing is, competition, competitive.
You're a competitive guy?
Yeah, I'm a competitive guy. Whether we're, backyard game of cornhole, or it's, we're out mountain biking, doing a workout. I know you did your 75 hard. Yeah. Or I'm beating out a local lender. I want to be first. I want to be first. So competition, and then the last thing is significance. Oh. So I want to enjoy what I'm doing. I want to make sure that it's going to have an impact on the local community. And, there's a legacy piece that I want to create and look back on and say, something that I'm proud of.
Yeah. So. Yeah, absolutely. And you're certainly in a position for what you do is to make that impact and to have that legacy in helping others through buying homes. Yeah. So all right, well, let's really get into it, because this is the big question that everybody wants to know about. The market's been volatile. It's been up. It's been down. The seller's market over the past 2 years just absolutely crazy. Yeah. And so now we're going into 2023. What are you seeing from the mortgage end as we, for now and as we go into this year?
And the prediction for it. So everything within the market that you hear, especially everything on the news, everything's negative. It's always, God, the rates, they're too high. Now's not a good time to buy. And it's so tunnel vision. Kind of have like the horse blinders that you have on, so to speak. And it's not about the rates, right? It's about having a good team, like yourself, like myself, a good, strong real estate professionals that work together to understand what's your current situation and how do we leverage the market to your advantage, right? So everybody wants to know when the perfect time is. There's no perfect time.
Right.
There's pros and cons, and there's ups and downs, and it's having that creativity to be able to, make it worth their while. I will tell you this. So market right now, right? I kind of like to compare it to what's going on in the economy.
Okay.
The market rates, from as human beings, we're normally, we want the lowest rate. We're greedy, so to speak, right?
Sure.
So we were used to 2 or 3%. From a historic standpoint, rates are still, they're around 6%. I have some people in the 5s. It's still a great time to buy. Where do I think we're headed? If you ask for my prediction within a year, I think they're going to kind of stay around where we're at.
Okay.
We're working on getting ahead of the inflation within the economy, but I think they're going to end up coming back. Where they're going to come back, it's kind of an unknown. I think we'll somewhere, hit around the 4% range.
Okay.
I think they'll kind of stay there.
Which is normal.
Very normal.
That's normal.
I have to
2 and 3% is
very normal.
Yeah. Aren't you glad you're wearing headphones for that?
I love this. This
normal.
is great. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 2 and 3% is not normal.
It's not.
Right.
It's the lowest in history that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
For me, and for you, it's the leverage, right? Right now is a buyer's market. Now is the time to buy. If you were asking me and I was the buyer, hey, am I buying now or am I buying in, when the rates were 2 or 3%? I'm buying now. Why am I buying now? I'm buying now because now I can get into the home with minimal cash out of pocket. Just about all my clients are getting seller help.
Okay.
Right. And sometimes we can leverage that seller help to actually buy down your rate. So there's buy down programs. But you're holding on to your cash. So maybe your payment is $300-$400 higher right now. Right. You're holding on to 10 grand more, 15 grand more. Right. That helps you make the higher payment, for a year, 2 years, till the market comes back, and then you capitalize on the refinance.
Right.
As opposed to, right, how crazy was the market before?
Oh my gosh. And how much people were spending over the list price, over the appraised value, and waiving appraisals or agreeing to make up the difference in should it under appraise.
Yeah. And 2 examples, right? You got a $300,000 house now. You can get in, maybe even a $290, get them to pay all your closing costs help, right? Where before it was $350, your rate was 2 or 3%. But when you look at an amortization schedule, where are you at equity-wise?
Does it kind of just balance itself out? I mean,
you actually come out on top by now because you now bought that home under its value.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
Or at least close to what it's worth.
Right.
And then you have the upside to refi.
Yeah.
Where I get a lot of clients, Dave, now's not the right time. When these rates come down, I'll give you a call. And I say, well, no, that's not the case, because what happens is rates go down, demand goes up, demand goes back up again, and as soon as the demand goes back up, values go up. Now you got to come out of pocket for more funds. So it's about the opportunity cost of leveraging your funds.
Yeah, yeah.
Great person I'd like to give a shout out to.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really educated me on how to leverage life insurance, leveraging the brokerage account. The money's hard to come, but easy to go. Get the money to work for you. Taylor Brown at Northwestern Mutual, financial advisor. So I really sit down with the clients and explain those things.
Yeah, I think it's important. I mean, so many people don't know about finances and how money can work for them. I mean, money is it's a very that's a heavy topic, you know, and sometimes emotion can get into that. But finding people that you know, that you like, and that you trust in making those decisions. I mean, because when it comes down to it, buying a home is a huge investment. It's probably your biggest investment.
And you talk about, for me,
most people,
it's the first step in my opinion, building generational wealth. But you talk about you coming from a teacher background. Yeah. How many things were you probably upset about, what you had to teach or how you had to do it? Why aren't we learning about credit in high school? Why aren't we learning about these things? And I think that's a problem within our society. Compound
interest.
Exactly.
I mean, could you imagine? I mean, you think back, like if I just had started investing when I was a teenager, and knew, but now I know, and I'm still not doing as much as I should.
Well, I got the perfect guy for you. Like I said, Taylor Brown.
Taylor Brown, Northwest. Yeah, there you go. There you go. So, with your clients, with yourself, we're in this kind of different market now. What are you doing for your clients? What are you doing for yourself to kind of face the hurdles that we are facing coming into the new year?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me is the education piece. I notice a lot of lenders, I kind of like it if they spoke with someone else and they come over, and I always get a kind of a wow experience from them, and I ask them why, and I find out the other lenders just say, hey Tim, give me your info, you're pre-approved, here's your payment, here's your cash to close.
Gotcha.
Where for me, it's the personalized planning aspect of it.
Right.
I want to understand what's your time frame, what are your future goals, and how do we take that and tailor it, to give you something personalized, and then let me educate you not just on the mortgage and buying the house, but other financial pieces, right? The financial piece of leveraging funds, opportunity costs, opening your eyes to that, and then introducing you to someone else. So like this is the step one of that generational wealth. And taking that step. So for me, it's taking the time to educate them, explaining those whys.
Yeah, that's for me in this coming year too is part of the goal is to increase that content of education so that people have a clear understanding. You were talking about earlier with the news and how everything's so fear based. It's
toxic.
It is very toxic, but to educate, like having that teaching background and being able to come in and I'm not trying to persuade somebody. I'm trying to give them the truth. What is the truth? And when we don't know something, to admit that we don't know instead of letting our egos get in the way of saying,
I think that you hit the nail on the head there. It's let me explain all the options to you so you can make the best educated choice for you and your family going forward.
Right.
The other thing is product knowledge. I've been doing this for coming up on 5 years here, and I love always going up against someone that's been in business for 25 years, right? Because they're almost kind of set in their ways. They think that they know it all, but the regulations are always changing. How do you get creative? So it's those creative solutions on how to make adjustments. I'm not going to say it's small savings, but sometimes it's a difference of $30 a month. That adds up for people. Yeah. Right? And, are you going to retain those funds? Are you paying too much in PMI, and just looking at those differences, and then leveraging the relationships. You know how big that is right now.
Relationships are everything.
It is.
Yeah.
So how do we call upon, other agents when we're going up? We have a buyer, right? And we're submitting an offer. How do we leverage the relationship with the listing agent? How does our reputation, help us with those things?
Just one very small thing that I've experienced from representing a seller and getting a call from you when there's one of your clients is putting an offer in on one of our listings, and just that personal touch of reaching out on behalf of your buyer to discuss. Just providing that level of confidence that, hey, should my seller accept this buyer's offer, for me, I can say, well, number one, they're working with a phenomenal lender, and then number two, they took the time to reach out, and not every lender does that,
And I really try to make it a team effort. Like sometimes I feel like when we're in this, it's us against them, right? And that's not how it should be. It should be we both have, again, that's why I kind of go back to restorative, because I want to know, obviously the seller's goal is they're trying to, put their seller in the best situation. So if we know what their goal is, and if we know what our goal is, we can kind of coincide and both achieve the same thing, where I think sometimes it's like this. It's a negotiation, but it doesn't have to be sometimes, I'm sure you've come across and they're kind of like standoffish or very short, or it almost kind of comes off rude sometimes. Right. So I really try to make it's a team effort here. Let's make it fun. It doesn't have to be this, negative, again, toxic.
Yeah. I mean, experience. The ultimate goal is to get a seller who's motivated to sell their home to the settlement table. The other goal is for a buyer that wants to buy said home to get to the settlement table. Exactly. And getting people there without letting ego and other things get in the way is so important. So you were actually kind of guiding me into my next question there. You were talking about loan programs, and certainly being an old teacher, I'm working with I have several either past students, teachers that I've worked with.
And what do you mean used to be a teacher? You're still a teacher. You're just teaching a different profession at this point.
Just teach. You know what? And that is the truth. Yeah. That is the truth. So what are some programs out there that First Home Mortgage has that can, that kind of shine, bright in helping people buy a home?
Yeah, so just released a few of them we're really excited about. First off, for our veterans. Okay. For any veteran out there, which veterans and hometown heroes, I'm going to put this into one lump sum. I got a soft spot in my heart for them, especially in this day and age. They don't get enough credit. Yeah. And what we do is let's talk about I call it First Home Heroes. Mm-hmm. Okay. And that's something that we've branded, we've come out with. It's for conventional, VA, USDA, FHA, and for anybody that's a firefighter, police, medical professional, mm-hmm. teacher. Okay. If you're in those categories, we waive our fees to do the loan. So all of our processing, underwriting, admin fees, we waive them all. I actually throw an added bonus on that, on top of it, and I pay for the appraisal for them out of my own pocket. Wow. So, and they don't have to be a first-time home buyer for it. Couple other ones that we came out with is First Home Advantage. I love this one because if you have your funds, we can get you a lower than par interest rate. Okay. And we can actually combine the two. So First Home Heroes Advantage. So if you are, one of the hometown heroes, then you can get a lower than par rate, and we waive the fees. So, a little double dip there.
That is a great bonus. And again, so many times people ask me, is there a grant for, or is there money for being a teacher or whatever? And there are, but different lenders have different programs. But it's interesting to hear what First Home Mortgage has.
And one of the other ones, especially if you're limited with funds, that we have it's called Borrow Smart. This is newly released. It's great. I'm using one right now, and it's based off of area median income. So depending upon the area that you're looking in, geographic restrictions. Mm-hmm. If you're under 50% of area median income. So let's just say around here you're right around $50,000 in income, right? You're going to get $2,500, and then depending upon where you're looking to buy, you'll get additional $7,500. So a total of $10,000, and it's a grant, absolutely free.
Which means you don't have to pay it back.
You do not have to pay it back. It's incredible. And then if your income's over that, we have 80% AMI. So let's say you're right underneath about $95,000 for Harford County, you get another $1,250, and then depending upon the location of it, if it's in a specific area, we call it kind of a geo track, you can get the other $7,500 as well. So some great programs that we offer right now.
So and that's very specific to First Home Mortgage, but then you guys also have Maryland Mortgage Program. That you work with, correct?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So we are what's considered their gold lender, their #1 lender for those Maryland mortgage programs. Really know how to use them to our clients' advantage. Mm-hmm. I find that other lenders actually have access to those programs, but when I find out the program they were setting them up with, it was completely wrong. So we do have the Maryland mortgage programs. Those programs continue to evolve. Yeah. Governor Hogan came out with those programs. With some changes, we'll see what happens with them. I still think they'll stick around, but theirs are incredible as well. And sometimes we can bundle them and add them on top. So it's just situational, but we're not going to use more than what we need. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Type deal.
Okay. Yeah. That's awesome. All right. Well, a few final questions for you. Yeah. Okay. And I think this next question we kind of touched on it. I'm just curious to know if there's anything else, but. If somebody were gonna, come to you, they're shopping with, one or two other lenders, and I know that you would like to see them last to kind of get a feel for where they've been. But there's a lot of lenders out there. What makes you different than everybody else?
And we briefly touched on this earlier, but it's the personalized planning. Yeah. I'm going to take the extra time up front. We're going to meet in person. I'm a big face-to-face. Okay. I want to hear your story. Like I said, going back to that restorative, I want to know where are you at? What are your hurdles? Let me have these creative solutions to be able to help you out. Let me give you something tailored. I love I kind of came up with this the other day. The guy was getting married, and I said, look, I'm going to compare it to when you get married. When you go and get your suit, are you going to Macy's and getting something generic? No, you're going to get a custom tailored suit fit to your situation. It should be the same exact thing for when you're buying a house. So it's understanding that why, the education piece, the personalized planning, and then for me it's also making it fun, right? It's fun to look at homes with you, and you know, well, I think it's fun, right? It depends upon
most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time.
Except for when you want to go at 9 o'clock on a Sunday evening, but
exactly. But making it enjoyable, because it can be. It doesn't have to be this the numbers, and it's stressful, and you know, make it enjoyable.
Yeah,
so.
well, I mean, I definitely think it's important that, because we do this every day.
Yeah.
You know, there's plenty of people out there, whether they're first-time home buyers or they've bought several homes or they're downsizing or whatever. It's like they don't do it every day. So having that patience, having the ability to explain things and to a level that is understandable is just super important. And you taking that personal approach and then meshing that with all the different opportunities and different pots that you have your hands in with these different loan programs. You do need that personal touch in order to make that connection of what fits best for the client.
Yeah, and it provides the clarity and confidence for them up front, so that way when they are ready to look at homes with you, you know, we're not 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We're ready to go.
Right.
Everything's figured out. They feel good. It's an enjoyable process. So that's what we try to create.
Absolutely. What is one habit? Now this is more on a personal level.
Yeah.
What's one habit that you have that currently helps you be the most successful at what you do?
I think positivity and being optimistic for myself. The girls are going to laugh at me, Michelle and Chrissy, which shout out to them. They're incredible on my team. And I came up with this new kind of slogan or quote, so to speak, and it's problems are progress. Right? When you have a problem, it's stop having this mindset that it is a problem, that it's negative.
Yeah.
The word problem just kind of comes off negative, isn't it? But it means you're pushing new boundaries. It means that you are given an opportunity to solve something, to make yourself better. So for me, I've always tried to look at things as, you know, be thankful you're in this situation. Right? Be thankful that you're trying to help someone in a very unique situation buy a house. Right?
Yeah.
That can make a difference in their life. So for me, it's the optimism and again, problems are progress.
Yeah, a great book, and I'm going to ask you for a book recommendation, but a great book that you could check out that revolves around that is called The Obstacle is the Way. Okay. Ryan Holiday. Okay. He's kind of a stoic, Marcus Aurelius, you know, kind of Plato, that kind of thought process, and it talks about basically, you know, that the struggles and the problems that we face are actually opportunities to grow and get better.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of times, what I like to say too is like when I'm under a tough situation, it's like in 10 years, I won't even remember this.
You won't.
But let's get through this and let's face it head on.
Probably in a month you won't remember it. You know?
Right?
So it is. It's having just a different outlook and looking through a different lens and perspective. Just be positive.
Perspective. It's all about perspective. And then on the flip side of that is when you are faced with something that you're really struggling with, then you think, well, how bad is this really?
Yeah.
Like, let's think about this being a problem. You go to Starbucks and they didn't make your coffee right. Like,
well,
seriously?
You start to look inward and you realize that isn't the problem. There's something else going on that's caused you to overreact, you know, within your emotions.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Wow. What are some things that you're going to be doing in the coming year for yourself, for your business, that's going to make it better for 2023? I don't know if they're resolutions or not, but what's on Dave Starleper's plate for 2023?
Yeah. So first thing, since we're this podcast, I'm coming out with my own podcast.
Awesome.
You'll be coming on.
I would love to.
So kind of overall, to put it in a generality, is brand awareness. So the podcast is something that I want to do, and I love that your touch is. It's not just real estate. This is from a personal level. You get to know people. You really get that connection, which I've enjoyed that. So the podcast, the brand awareness, I've come out with a new logo for myself, Starleper Mortgage Solutions. I actually got a copy here to
Hey, let's go. Hold that up in front of the camera. If you're listening to this, you got to check out the YouTube.
Starleper Mortgage Solutions.
Okay.
You're gonna be tired of seeing that logo all around town.
There you go.
We're also
is that a division of First Home Mortgage?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Gotcha.
so it is. So the brand awareness, the logo, some apparel. I actually have something for you that's in the making.
Okay, cool.
So thanks for having me on. And then we're going to be doing a Starleper social, which is going to be once a month. It was myself, my cousin Patrick, who's my insurance agent with Zach Esser, and April Jackson. You know April.
I know April very well. Black Oak title.
Yep. Incredible. Best settlement officer out there.
There you go.
I'm biased, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to be once a month, and it's just going to be about networking and getting real estate professionals together just to get to know each other, other lenders, other title companies, agents, and people of financial advisors, that kind of starting five. And there's going to be a charity behind it for each one.
That's awesome.
Different to give back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Similar to you is we're trying to do like 4 client appreciation events a year, one a quarter. We got one coming up in January. It's going to be a bowling party.
Awesome.
And
let me know what I can sponsor.
I will certainly need some sponsors.
Yeah. The last thing I did want to mention with that is also looking to kind of take this branch to the next level. So looking to recruit some other LOs that maybe they're struggling in this market.
And an LO is?
Loan officer.
There you go.
So another loan officer, that maybe you're looking for a career change. You're not happy. Maybe you are an LO. You're struggling in this market. The development behind First Home Mortgage is incredible. So if you're looking for that change, but you're looking to kind of stay stagnant or make the same, do the same production at an easier way, this isn't a good fit. If you're looking to grind and get to the next level, please reach out. Looking to take this branch to the next level.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Every time I ask people for a book or a podcast recommendation, and you've actually brought a sample, but are there any podcasts that you listening to?
Joe Rogan. Rogan.
You like?
I'm hooked.
The 3 hour and 30-minute podcasts.
They are long, but I catch myself. I don't end up realizing because I'll just do it on an hour here, 45 minutes here. But I think he just does a great job. We've got a lot of similar interests as well with whether it's health and fitness, it's MMA. So he has a lot of guests on that I enjoy. Who do you like to listen to podcast-wise?
So
besides TMA,
besides the TMA connection, right? So there is the Impact Theory podcast with Tom Bilyeu. Another one is Maxed Out, or the Ed Mylett Show. Ed Mylett. Into Gary V, Gary Vaynerchuk, the Gary V experience, the Gary V audio experience, and then some Tom Ferry is a real estate guy. Pat Hyven is a real estate guy. Brian Buffini. Always what Zig Ziglar once called automobile university is when I'm driving around. I'm not too much listening to music, as I'm just listening to.
It was crazy for me to realize that I was only a music guy when you work out or you go for a run or whatever, but the podcast was probably the best distraction. And you didn't realize what you were doing for so long. So it's great.
It's awesome, cool. And then you have a book recommendation too.
So book recommendation. I know you've already read this, but for everybody else, Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins. If you haven't read this, make sure that you read it. It'll make you run through a brick wall and stop making excuses for yourself and holding yourself accountable. I mean, he just changes that perspective. He used to have the victim mentality, and he's switched that to use adversity to his advantage and what he's going through. Right.
And if you're sensitive to inappropriate language, it might not be the book for you. But if you can look past F words and stuff like that, he's very vocal.
If you're soft, I want to say it's soft. If you're soft, don't read the book.
So let's shout out somebody in the community. You and Taylor. Taylor's your girlfriend. I taught Taylor when she was in 9th grade.
Did she give you a hard time? You can.
She was phenomenal. You listening, Taylor? You were phenomenal. So was your sister.
He can't say because she gives me a hard time sometimes.
Well, I'm wondering why she does that. But if you're going to take her out to dinner on your anniversary, where are you guys going to go?
If we're going to the local community, I'm going to 111 Main.
111 Main.
111 Main.
Man, you're
it's
like
incredible.
the third person that has said 111 Main. What are you going to get on the menu there?
I'm I'm a steak guy, so I'm gonna get the filet. Okay. But sometimes I will mix it up. They'll have a special fish, and they'll have some like red snapper. But the place, the ambiance, it's just a small little quaint
right there on Main Street.
Right there on Main Street.
I wonder what the address is.
Yeah, 111 Main.
111 Main.
Exactly. Huh? But they have some incredible nights with deals as well.
Yeah.
I think it's Wednesday night. They do a 3-course. It's like $50 a person, but you get your own appetizer, entree, and dessert. For me, that's a little small. I'm a heavy eater, so I'm like, I need 2 of them. And then they do half-price bottle of wine night. I'm like, how are they even making money on doing that?
Wow.
So it's incredible.
Well, I have reached out to them. I've reached out to a lot of people in our community. Want to showcase different restaurants, different places to shop, and all that, and different people that are making a difference. And so 111 Main, they did reach back out to me, and I got to get back in touch with them so that we can showcase them on the podcast. So
they're incredible.
But I think I got to eat there too. I've never eaten there.
You get the lady. You and I are going.
All right,
we're going. All right.
All right. You heard it, guys. Here. You heard it here first. Well, again, I kind of acknowledged you in the beginning, but let's bookend it with another acknowledgement that you bring a certain level of energy, a certain amount of hustle, a certain level of just motivation to what you do. You do have a very positive mindset, and you do make things fun with the clients that we've worked with in the past. It's always been a very smooth transaction, whether I'm on the buy side or the list side, representing the seller. You are top notch at what you do, and not only that, but you've also expedited the process in certain transactions where, normally it takes a customary 30 days, and you're able to knock it out in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So kudos to you on what you're doing. You got your heart in the right place, and people that are fortunate enough to work with you have great experiences.
Well, thank you for that. That means the world, especially coming from you. I'm taking many notes from the things that you've done in the local community and how you've drastically launched your career. So it means the world. Thank you for having me on here.
Absolutely. Where can people connect with you?
Yeah, so we're doing more of the social media.
Awesome.
And getting out there. But on Instagram, Starleper Mortgage, through Facebook, you'll find me on there. You're going to start to see a lot of Starleper Mortgage solutions. But cell phone is the best way to give me a ring, 443-415-9170. If you are looking to buy or refi, I do Maryland, Pennsylvania, Delaware, North and South Carolina, Florida, and Virginia.
Fantastic.
So we're spreading.
Yeah.
So give me a call. I'm here to help.
That's fantastic. Last question for you. I acknowledged you. Here's your opportunity to call out one person that has significantly made a difference in who you've become, the man you are. Who would you like to pay tribute to today?
And if you heard that was we talked about 111 Main, my stomach started growling. I'm hungry. So I would like to pay tribute to my father, to my dad. Something that I've realized is, he's always taught me certain values that I didn't realize that have stayed with me to kind of make me who I am today. And, one of them is specifically, don't look at what other people are doing around you. Compete against your own abilities. Yeah. So that was one. Two is he's very social. He was always talking to everybody, whether we were in the elevator, grocery store, BJ's, the mall. He found a way to connect and talk with people. Yeah. And when you're a kid, I'm like, Dad, stop, it's embarrassing. But the impact that it's had on me, I enjoy chatting with everyone. Talk about restorative. And the last thing is don't be afraid to go out of your way to help someone else out. So those are the three things I think of. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So thanks, Dad.
Mr. Starleper, you got a good son there. You got a good son. If you like this, please share it, like it, comment on it, tag somebody that could possibly need to hear this. Just trying to put out great content. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the Markland Advantage. You can follow us on TikTok at TMA Real Estate, as well as on YouTube at the Markland Advantage. Just all over the place, trying to provide good information and keep everybody informed and educated as we go into this year and beyond. So, Dave Starleper, First Home Mortgage. Thanks for coming on the show, brother.
Thanks so much.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, and we have to call someone out because I know you're a David Goggins guy, and he talks about you know, carrying the logs, carrying the boat, right?
Yeah.
And I have a buddy of mine that's been supposed to meet me at the gym at 5:30 every morning.
Uh-oh.
And he hasn't. So Luke Ward,
oh,
I better see you at the gym tomorrow. All right?
We'll have to tag him in this.
Yeah. Oh, we are. He's not going to be happy. So.
Luke Ward, get to the gym. All right.
All right.
Until next time, man.
Appreciate it.
Live your life to the fullest, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
Take care.